All right, we back. Madeline's part two. Just getting started. All right. All right, we back.
Okay, we're back.
Yeah, so that's that's one thing that I always associate with like what leads people to popping and street styles in general is that uh we like rabbit holes, you know.
Oh yeah.
It's it's a rabbit hole thing, you know, like that's one thing that we all have in common. Like we would not be poppers if
Yeah,
we weren't rabbits, you know?
definitely.
Like
That's
you
the
gotta
thing
be
that
a
you gotta
rabbit.
tell poppers when they first start. You're just like, if you're not a rabbit, you need to get out right now.
Yeah, for real. I gotta feel convinced you're a rabbit. Because if not, we're not adopting you. You know, we
Yes.
only adopt
It's
rabbits.
it's for the curious.
Yeah, it is. And then I think there is a certain mentality as well, as far as yeah, there's a certain mentality of introversion as well, that I think comes with it.
Well, yeah, because the rabbit hole investigation takes a little introvertedness
Yeah,
even
yeah.
to even get there.
Dang. Okay. Okay. So
Yeah,
wait. So okay, this is like a crew name. It's the introverted rabbits.
introverted rabbits.
You know, it's so funny though, because that's I never associated like in order to be a rabbit, you have to be introverted because yeah, in order to kind of dive into something, it's an investigation, and to investigate, I think it does almost require it. It almost requires it.
It does. Stiggity's saying, nah, it doesn't though.
It doesn't.
It
Oh
doesn't.
shit. We got a debate. Okay.
We gotta
Uh,
bring you on. We gotta bring you on. No, you wanna come on. No, but
yeah.
yeah, maybe not for everybody. Maybe we should be more general because you can totally still learn these styles without. But I think I don't know. Personally, it definitely was. Oh, okay. He said no to the crew name. It's not a good crew name. Personally, yeah, I think that going down those rabbit holes requires a bit of like, yeah, introvert.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. Um, so when you first found out you were tutting, then like I mean, there was Dragon House that was like an inspiration. You had Dizzy, and you had Blueprint, and you
Yeah,
had Ditto, all
yeah,
those tracks. Yeah, I
yeah,
remember when we had a session with Dizzy at the park for Los
yeah,
Angeles.
yeah. We did
Yo,
Los
man,
Angeles.
I miss it. I miss it. Honestly, I'm like, we got to get that going again.
I know.
I know. I'm already in contacts with Greens right now. I'm like, yo, we're gonna have a little low key session right now. I'm
Low
already gonna
low key.
low key. I'm gonna sneak out.
No, actually,
But
we've been talking about it too. Yeah,
yeah, we're gonna have like a. It's gonna be like a speakeasy dance cipher.
yeah.
Gotta happen. So then, when you think about the mentality of street dancers, and then when you go to these other realms of movement, do you feel like Do you feel like there's something lacking or something that street dancers could possibly gain from these other cultures? Don't be
Yes,
scared. Don't be
yes.
scared.
Um, yes. The big question. Um, yes, but I'm gonna preface with a short story. Um, preface with a short story. When I started studying street dance, like for real, I almost like fully abandoned every other dance style I was doing at
Mm.
the time. I was just like, I just almost had no interest, and I was fully interested in like popping, animation, flexing, all these new styles. And I didn't come back to things like I would say the first styles I probably came back to were like contemporary dance and ballet. And the only reason why I came back to those is because I had found teachers that were teaching like contemporary dance through a different lens than I was originally given, which was closer to improvisation. So I found that way easier to relate after having studied freestyle for like a few years. So
Mm.
when I came back, I had like a different lens on these styles that I had learned techniques from in the past. Feel me? Following me?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah,
Um, and so I don't know. I mean, I guess the things that those styles do have to offer is I mean, there actually are a lot of really great things to learn about the body, like in ballet. That I don't know, maybe could translate to some of these other styles. I don't know how.
100%.
Help me out. Help me out.
100%. I mean, when you think about ballet, I mean, ballet could translate to just life. I mean, you have
Totally.
football players that are learning ballet, you know?
Totally. Totally. Like you can learn really, really simple things about the way the body is. Uh, I don't know, because my experience with ballet is it's so like tied to anatomy. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
really learning about uh, like the anatomy of the body, which I think can be really helpful in studying any style of dance, street dance, or not. I don't know. I just believe in the cross genreism. Like there's so much to you can learn from. We should all be learning from multiple sides.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like ballet, like, oh man, I just want to cultural appropriate that thing so bad. To be honest.
Yeah.
Like, for me, I did take a ballet class one time. And well, I felt like this is it. Like I didn't feel convinced this was like the ballet studio that I should go to. That's why I didn't
Totally.
continue. But
Totally. Because there are teachers that know that the people in this class are not going to be professional ballerinas.
yeah,
For me, those I like taking both, but like for me, maybe those teachers are gonna be actually more beneficial to like getting these techniques on my body, like the way that they're presenting them. So it's just like you said, it's all about like who you're learning from. Same thing with any other style in like, you know, in street dance too. It's like how your teacher delivers the style is how you're gonna collect it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. For me, I always was like I always wanted to know how people thought about movement, you know, like movement theory, because
Yeah.
I knew from a very like being around Tableau a lot and discussing like concepts and discussing like
Yeah.
the imagination and how to tie your body to imagining things outside of your body.
Yes.
Um,
Tableau is the theorist for that.
yeah, so learning to imagine things outside of your body really starts to unlock and also separates you from yourself in some ways too. Um, because sometimes like I would when I dance, I want to be a vehicle for like the ideas to flow through. I don't want to be like I don't want to generate the ideas from here. I just want to be like a receiver for the ideas. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So if
Yeah.
I
No,
start to repeat movement,
yeah.
it's because I'm coming from here and not like allowing the surrendering to the allowing the imagination to run its course.
Yes.
Do you relate to that at all?
Yeah. Yeah. Like sometimes when I study a different style, like like you said, I'm fully receiving all the information.
Mm,
Not fully, but I'm like receiving it. But if I'm gonna implement it all, like I don't know. But
mm.
I enjoy receiving this information.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you never know when that seed is going to start to grow, you know? So,
Definitely.
yeah, because there's things that I reflect on that like I may have gone to a session or something, saw or asked a
Let's say
question.
a crump session, because I feel like me and you kind of have a weirdly similar relationship to crump. I don't know, because
Oh, okay.
I've seen you pull up at the session a few times,
Uh-huh.
and I feel like I've also pulled up like a few times.
Which crump session? Which one?
Beast camp.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. Nah, Crump is something that I've watched for actually longer than popping,
Whoa.
believe it or not. Yeah. So Crump was something that I actually like came up around. It was like at my high school.
Really?
So yeah, Crump and turfing was both at my high school. That's what you did if you
Holy
were
shit.
dancing in high school. Yeah.
Holy
So
shit.
like it was the full on hiking movement when I was in high school. This is
Oh,
like
I'm just getting water. It's right here. Keep talking.
uh, oh yeah. So it was like the peak of the hyphy movement when I was in high school. So all that Bay Area sound, whether it was Mac Dre, E40, Too Short, all that, it
Yeah.
was that was like I was like a party head in high school. Like that's all I would do. So
Huh.
I would see these dances all the time, you know.
I didn't.
And then also jerking came out and things like that, you know, at the end.
Hey,
Uh,
hey.
yeah, jerking was like it kind of got like jumbled into the hyphy, like hyphy came in, then jerking actually like started just after that. But
Yeah.
it was
So
interesting
wait,
though. So
did
like
jerking come in with the song?
um yes,
I sketch.
yeah. No, actually no, people were doing it before.
Yeah.
Um there was what was the group's name? Damn it. Um no, the song got created
Like, did
after.
the song get created off the dance, or I don't know?
Yeah, so it wasn't people started asking because it became a popular song, people were asking, yo, what's the jerk? Like, what is that, you know? But from what I recall, it was the jerk was already happening and we were doing it to what's that group? Uh that song, I got my Vans on, but they look like sneakers. What
Oh, ooh.
yeah, what's
Hey,
that
somebody in the comments help us out.
yo
I got
oh it's on my tip of my tongue. You had Lil B, right? Lil B. You had shit.
that. I'm trying to think of the name of that particular song.
Yeah. No, not
Marionettes?
not Soldier Boy. No, Soldier Boy was a like Soldier Boy was like that was also a high school dance too. Like people were doing that. But also like there was what else? There was other dances too, like coming out of the South, and I actually saw juking before popping as well.
Mm.
Ah, the pack. There we go. So, yeah, the pack. Like, so, yeah, jerking was definitely. like something that was already going on, especially in LA. But I actually saw juking before I saw popping as well. So that was kind of crazy. So both
Interesting.
Crump and juking, but Crump, yeah, my relationship to Crump was weird in the beginning because it was kind of religious and kind of like weird in the beginning. There was like it was like at churches and shit, so it's kind
Yeah,
of like
I went to this gnarly fucking session one time at a church in Sacramento. Or where the fuck was I? I don't know. Colorado. I don't know. We were in the bottom of some church, and yeah, it was one of the not fucking craziest things.
yeah, yeah. So to me, like growing up in church, I was kind of like it was like crazy battles. Speaking of battles, I saw outrage and ruin. For that was the first Crump battle I went to.
Oh, really?
I saw them. And to see that it was like, yo, they had like caution taped off for the ring.
I
There's
love it.
all these all these chairs and like then
I'm a
between
huge
the
fan
battles
of the
there
caution tape.
you gotta have the caution tape.
I'm fucking a huge fan.
So then like between the battles they're like, all right, let's open up and read some scripture. And I was like, yo, like they were just
I've
like
never
about
seen
to kill
that.
each other.
Yeah, I've never experienced that before.
Yeah, it was weird. I talked to Baby Tie Eyes about it on the interview, but yeah, it was a weird time in Crump too, because it was like, is it a praise dance? Is it only Christian? You know, um,
Totally, yeah.
so I wasn't about that.
Yeah, so
So
it kind of like scared you off a bit.
yeah, it scared me off 100%. And then I was also around the Crump scene for quite a while because I would go to like the overhype sessions in Torrance
Right,
With
I've heard of
Yaya.
it.
Yeah, when they were going down, this is like when Street Kingdom was like at their like everybody was together, you know? So like I'm talking like all Street Kingdom was at these sessions and like at their
Lit.
peak like readiness, you know? So um craziest shit I ever seen, you know? Because I was living with Yaya at the time, Yaya and
Yes.
Emilio, and so like I would Yaya was like, "Yo,
Speaking
you."
of Yaya and Emilio, I was also a really big IME fan.
Oh shit.
We
Okay.
gotta go back to that after this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I am a fan. I'm writing it down. So yeah, I mean, and then like I would session like B Dash and like Concrete would be at Yaya's old house when I was just like friends with them, and it was like the I Am Me house, and
Love
yeah,
it.
we were kind of exchanging. Like I would show B Dash some robot stuff, and then but yeah, it was just not welcoming. Like the Crump community was still kind of like there was a very big boundary of like like who are you and like kind of
Yeah.
b-boy, you know. So it wasn't really till I um you know they would be at my house, like they would be at the house we were living at, and still it wasn't like buddy buddy, you know. So it wasn't till really um Baby Tight Eyes and Yaya like I was like, yo, I'm gonna make a commitment to this, you know. And Baby Tight Eyes created the Beast Camp, which was like felt really open for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely shout out to them for like making a space where like you feel like you're invited.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like you know, I felt invited, but I also still felt like I was a guest for sure, 100%. And I'm still a guest,
Still
but
a guest. Still a guest.
yeah, still a guest. We should have guest shirts. Like we should have little name tags, you know.
Still a guest.
Still a guest. Uh, but yeah, it wasn't, you know, because you know, when they would have their session or their battles and stuff, they would like I was just on the outside, like I wasn't participating. I didn't have that type of
Yeah.
skill. So then I was, hey, yo, speaking of I am me, Brandon in the building, yo,
Yeah, no, that's really funny.
crazy. But yeah, so then when when it came to like getting down, I actually had my first crump session in Torrance at their parking lot. And yeah, a lot of heavy hitters were there. Ruin was there, Tight Eye, Baby Tight Eyes, and actually Fiction and Slavic pulled up as well. Um, yeah, so they're talented movers. They're really talented movers. So they can pick stuff up really fast.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was slightly intimidating. I was like, yo, I'm just starting, y'all just starting. This is gonna be dope. And I was like, damn, y'all
It's just
just
like
picked that up.
y'all just starting too.
Y'all just picked that up. I'm like, yo, I'm a slow learner. Um, but yeah, I think for me, when I got off there, I was like, I'm hooked. I'm hooked.
Yeah.
I was in another realm, bro. Like the height of that state of mind that you get when everybody's hyping you up, it's
Untouchable.
it's nuts, yo.
Yeah.
I I just like I'm looking for like it's scary. Like this is what it is. It's scary as fuck. It's scary as fuck, especially when you feel like you already have self-doubt and like you don't know if you're really well versed. You're still like learning and um then it's an intimidating environment. So um yeah, for you to just like take that step and everybody's hyping you up, it's so empowering.
Yeah.
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 So when you say your relationship to Crump, what do you
Well,
see in our similarities?
now that you explain your relationship, I realize they're actually very different. I meant the relationship as in like you seem like you go into these spaces where this is happening. You have an experience. You're fully receiving this experience, but like maybe you don't like identify as a crumper, but
Mhm.
like you are really present when you're a guest. I don't know if you still consider something when you're a guest in that culture.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'm still. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, because I
for
feel that
me,
way too.
yeah. When you're there and just yeah, you're there to hype other people up. You're there to be a part of it.
Yeah, I make sure that like if I'm gonna pull up to a session like that, I'm like fully present because I want to receive like
Yeah, yeah,
this. Even though I after like I don't know where the style may play into my life even
yeah,
like every day, but yeah.
yeah. Because it's also, for me, it's like I'm there to learn and receive and gain this energy, and then it's also like if I'm gonna be there, I'm gonna give back as much as I can.
Yeah.
And it may not be in a talented way. Like I'm not gonna be like I might not be in the battle or the cipher, but I'm gonna play my part as like that's the one thing that Crumb taught me too was like, yo, the people that surround you they're co-creating your dance.
Yeah. Yeah, they are co-creating.
It's a co-creation. It's like that's the one thing. Like I came up in popping, and if you gave easy props, it was kind of like, yo, what? Like, and it's not that Crump is easy props. It's just it's like let's decide what deserves props like after the fact. Let's get the person there. Like let's just get the person there.
Yeah. 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 Totally.
Because I think Crump is kind of like um yeah. I mean, we're there for well, at least I feel like I'm there for different reasons too. Like it's not about performing.
Right.
It's about healing in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, thrash. Like I'm tired of being controlled. Like let me thrash real quick.
Yeah, it's just like that cathartic, like, you know what I mean? It's like really cathartic to use your
Yeah,
body in that way.
yeah,
My fucking petty like imitations right like now. But
well, yeah, just like even like this kind of like opening up and then just like exploding and
Yeah,
like
like the actual release that you feel like from opening the chest in that way, like, you know what I mean? It
mhm.
really does. It has a completely different effect than like a different posture you might usually use.
all delicate and just
Yeah.
strategically placed. And
Yeah.
yeah, um, yeah, it's a real. I think for me, when I see it, I'm like, man, popping is missing it right now.
Yeah, and I think that might be a reason why I'm fading out. No, not fading out, but like maybe not as like maybe not as like close to like the popping culture as when I first started.
So let me ask you this then: if you can imagine what popping, I mean, we've both been attracted to popping, but
Yeah.
what would popping look like in your ideal sense, like a session, or a battle, or like what would the energy or what would it look like? What, yeah.
If we added
Well,
what?
like say, like when I say like, oh, popping is lacking the things that Crump might excel in.
Right.
Uh,
I think there would be more jumping, more more uh more like throwing of the body. You know what I
mm,
mean? More like and not really knowing. I don't know, but I guess people do that a bit, but I think there would be a lot more ri- risk involved.
okay, okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay, I'm writing this shit down. Speak on it, yo.
Well, well, yeah, because I don't know. You go now.
So like,
I think there would be more risk involved because in some of these other dance styles, you're like you when you throw. I mean, then that's a foundation of crump too. When you throw, when we think of the word throw, like I don't know, do you know where it's going?
mm,
I feel like there would be more risk,
hmm.
more catharsis.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, that makes sense. So you got an element of risk involved in the dance, like with crump versus popping, right? Uh,
Yeah. And I like that. I like that uncertainty, and I think that like part of the reason why like I feel not as free in a popping competition right now is because I feel inhibited in that way. I mean, and maybe that's just something I need to change in myself. Maybe I should throw myself across the floor in a battle,
yeah,
see what
yeah,
happens. But
yeah. Part of it is the environment, right? It's kind of like, well, that's not really accepted here, you know?
yeah,
Yeah, in crump, it's like, uh, yo, you could do whatever you want, just make it buck. Like,
yeah,
yeah, you just got to make it buck. And the thing is that even if it's not, you work at it. You work at making it buck. And the thing with popping is kind of like, well, actually, the art of popping requires like it almost feels like it requires some reservations, you know? So
a
like
little bit, a little like I kind of want to agree.
yeah, because in order to create that stop or that texture, it requires you to slightly hold back just
Yeah,
slightly.
and a bit more like sureness, or you know what I mean, or like
Mhm.
I know that I'm here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because then also when you think about the act of stopping or the act of popping, one is the style of hit or the style of shake you do allows you to explore more. So, for example, if you're always focused on, say, hitting your legs, right? You're going to have to be reserved and you're going to have to actually be balanced in a particular way.
Right, totally. Like you have to have your body kind of centered somewhere
Yeah.
where you're able to control you, like you're like making a place where you're centered enough to have access still to your other body parts. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's like well, popping your legs, yeah, you have to be in a certain balance position or whatever. Or like the thing, like things that give you more freedom is like the ability to isolate your hit, right? Like
Yeah.
tableau teach, where it's more like animated shakes and things like that. Or you can use your head to hit almost in any position. But in
Right.
order to create that aesthetic of popping, it requires that you like you create that stop in it, right?
Right. And it's like, can you access that when you're like, can you, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
can you still like access the same muscle control? Well, maybe not because it's almost the opposite. I don't know. We're
Well,
still
yeah, no,
figuring it
like
out.
even with what you did there, like that throw of the head,
Yeah.
like just thinking about hitting that, like I'm for
Yeah.
sure gonna throw my neck out.
Right.
Like,
It could be literally dangerous to like pop your leg while you're like, I don't know, doing
yeah.
a forward roll. I don't know. Maybe.
So no, it makes sense. So like when we're talking about like the reservations that the style of popping may have, it could just be an innate like
Yeah.
survival mechanism. Like,
Yeah. No. Yeah. I've never even came to this point before, but like I think it's totally valid.
yeah, so for me, I think the
That like yeah.
combination of things is gonna be the real, and I know you know this because like that's like when I see you exploring all these other styles, I'm like, okay, we're on the same wave and understanding that, one thing may not be able to articulate all the things that we want.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we just have to keep exploring and figuring out like so with Crump you have all this like one of their three like basic positions is an off balance position, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that third
they're like
position is back.
setting it up for these like crazy unbalanced
Yeah.
moments to happen. I mean, yeah, and it's so similar to the way we train all styles in ballet. You have your first position and your second and your third, which are like completely balanced and centered, that prepare you to be completely balanced and centered in larger like movements.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
if you look at like Crump and when they go off balance, it's not like they have to hit there, you know?
Yeah.
They can
They do anyways.
they do sometimes
By
like
some immaculate force that is beyond us, we'll refer to it as God.
well like
They're still they're still
the
able
the
to do everything.
The
Like
thing is, though, is that they're not confined by the like that feeling of like the two and the four, like
yeah,
always popping
the two and the
consistently.
four will literally be my death. But I love it, but it will also be my death.
Yeah, there is so much to be said there, like with just the two and the four, but then with Crump, you have like the one, two, three, hold, rumble, bang. Like it's like this.
True, actually, true. There's still a lot of like there's still some structure on like rhythm there.
Yeah. Yeah, someone just said that people tend to separate their natural movement when they start popping. That's true too. Like
I'm
you see some,
I am I am guilty of this.
yeah, 100%. It's like
I threw it
you,
all the
you guys,
way.
you guys know how to walk, right? Like you guys can walk like normal. You don't have to walk like this. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like the influences, I think the kind of community we surround ourselves with. Like, what if you just told somebody like popping is just stopping or just shaking, right? Or just contracting.
Yeah.
And without any particular form, would they just gravitate towards that? Or, you know?
Right. Like if it was broken down to like these way more uh conceptual general like
Yeah.
theories. And I mean I think that's why I was attracted to the like corner of the like popping animation community that I floated towards was
Yeah.
because like, you know, like Tebo, Slim, you are kind of like people. Jordan too. I was actually really inspired early on by Jordan, and you like were people in the community that I felt like were like kind of honing in on like yeah like not teaching specific moves and teaching like even smaller but more general elements of these moves, which were like
Mm.
I don't know like more general things like pressure, uh
Mm.
size. I don't. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's more like fundamental concepts that we can apply to movement. You know, if you decide to pop, that's up to you, you know?
Yeah.
Because for us, it's like popping is how we want to approach the sound. It's the way it makes us feel, you know. But
Yeah.
um, that brings me up to the next question from Lou that she just dropped in the comments. But she says that
Yeah. That
that
was good. That was a good question.
yeah, battles are like kind of bringing out or limiting personal expression or bringing out the artistry in the dance.
Yeah.
Um, it's an interesting topic. What do
Yeah.
you think about that?
Well, I mean, I feel like the battle is like such a main event for the culture, like throughout history. So there are like a lot of pressures in the battle from the past, from the present, on not only the competitors but on the judges, on the organizers. Like,
Hmm.
you feel me? So, um, like I don't know. I understand like there's like kind of like pressure on everybody involved, and it's not just like a one person like only effort to like if there was to be like some change. Um, But
Hmm.
I mean, my experience has been like I've done popping battles over the years. I, I get in. I get in sometimes. Sometimes I do better than others, but I don't like win at popping battles. Like the battles I've won are usually freestyle battles. Um, but I still like to enter popping battles because uh I don't know. I like that checkup.
So you
Yeah.
think of it as kind of like a yeah, like a check-in, like, oh, okay, let me just like try and
For
place these rules for a second on.
for me personally, now that's kind of how it plays in my life. Like I don't pull up to the popping battle like I always try my best, but I usually don't pull up to the popping battle like thinking I'm gonna like destroy everyone. Um, it's usually like yeah, I have practiced this style a fuck ton throughout my life, or not my whole life, but the past like 5 years, 4 or 5 years for sure. But so I'm gonna keep. I don't know. I'm gonna do a battle today, and that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. It's kind of it's hard, because people they put a lot into their artistry, they put a lot into practice and their craft, and then, you know, we go to these battles expecting some type of result or to at least be seen or heard, uh, for all the work that we put in, and so it feels kind of bad sometimes, like when we don't make it or we lose or whatever. Yeah, I mean. I did a piece recently for the Great One Aiders battle, and I actually posted this clip, my entry, for that exact reason, to expose something. Because I recorded, honestly, I recorded another clip, and it was to a funk track, and it was like I was animating and straight popping,
Yeah.
Uh, but I chose this clip because I wanted to put the judges in a tough position. They
Yeah.
had to, they had to choose. They had to think. They had to think. Go.
Right.
Okay.
Like,
Well,
does
yeah.
this belong in the bracket?
Yeah. Does this? So I get passed into top 32 to get you know to then choose another video to submit for the against Mega Man, who's a notorious animator and
Yeah.
popper. Um, so for me, it was like, okay, well, I want to make the judges think on this, and I also want to show everybody that they can be themselves and
Yeah.
you know be artists, and it doesn't matter if you win or lose, really. For me, it was actually a really growing experience because I got to deepen my pursuit of art because I had to submit myself to public judgment.
Right. No, no, I think yeah, I think that's a very like good part of battling. Like
Yeah,
no matter what. It's just like feeling that.
yeah,
Seeing what people react to.
yeah,
Whether or not you lose or win technically, but just seeing what people react to, and being there and stuff, it's like a big deal.
yeah. I think the issue comes sometimes like when our culture is kind of now put so much emphasis on the battles, because it also becomes like a financial thing where you win a battle, okay, now you can teach workshops or you can travel or whatever.
Totally.
Um, but honestly, guys, I'm speaking to anybody anybody listening is like don't don't I'm saying I don't want to say don't because I don't want to speak in absolutes, but you got to diversify. If you're depending on other people's opinions for your livelihood, I think it's safe to say that's not healthy.
Yeah. It's not healthy. I remember there was this one battle. I'm gonna say this was the only battle that I entered because I needed the money at the time.
Oh shit.
You know what I mean? Like, and I was like, and it was actually like one of my better battles, but it was also the battle that I got the most upset over. So it's just like, it's not good. I don't know. For me, it's not healthy to uh like rely on in that way. Or like you're saying, like it's better to diversify.
Yeah. Because if you are competing with your art, honestly, that's in some ways abusing yourself.
Yeah, it's not healthy, guys.
We're having an intervention.
Not a healthy relationship.
Ah, man, it's such a tough one because with battles you can grow in, but it's all in your mindset. You have to you have to have the right like mindset to approach it with. Otherwise, it can be very detrimental to your well-being.
Fucking
Um,
for sure, because you could be like, especially if you're young too. I mean, 'cause, like I don't know if you when you I imagine you started battling kind of young-ish, like early 20s, right?
Well, yeah, my first battle I've only been popping 6 months, so yeah.
Love that. Um, yeah, like when you battle young, you like if you're not giftedly open-minded at a young age, you're like, oh, that person won, so maybe I should like maybe I should do what they're doing
Yeah.
because I lost. And it takes a while, I feel, to like I don't know, to want to realize if that's applicable to you or not. I don't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean it's tough. It's tough, with the perceptions around battles and competitions. I think also to look at it in a bigger picture,
Yeah.
as far as well, life in general, but also like what is the value of this dance that we do? It's not winning. It's not winning.
Yeah.
Uh it's
Not when,
definitely
yeah. It's
yeah.
about like being there and being a part of like history in the making, even if you don't win. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. Also, just to preface, I have been battling for a few years, but I'm not an OG battler. I still have a lot of battling to do. I just want to like, put this out there because I don't want to be like speaking as like I'm like, yeah, back in my day. Because
Bag
I,
of ice.
I actually do have a lot to go in my life still.
Uh, why do you feel that way? I'm curious.
Um, I just don't feel like I'm done yet with like
Mm,
that. I know that like there's like for a lot of street dancers there's a period where like you're battling and then like there's sometimes a period where you're not battling as much and you're judging, you're teaching, or performing, you're busy. And I mean, I've definitely started like doing some of those things and like dancing professionally, which I'm really grateful for. But I just still feel like I have more to go in terms of battling. Like
mm,
there's still like areas of the U.S. and like not in the U.S. that I'd still like to go to and battle and like explore, and some people that like I'm just not. I don't feel like I'm done there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope. I mean, it's crazy because, you come from like you've been doing this like really dope industry work, and when people reach that stage, most people don't want to come back.
Well, yeah, I think there's this thing that like because a lot of especially famous street dancers have like maybe like they came up like in the underground, and then started doing industry work. There's like this idea that the industry work is the hierarchy or something like that's like
Mhm.
the top level of like the journey where you're like dancing for a big artist and getting money, but I don't think it's a top, you know what I mean? I think it's almost like simultaneous thing like you can do. And maybe that's what's like holding some dancers back from working while they're like still training and battling. It's like maybe they don't feel like they're like good enough to do that, but in reality they're actually way doper than a lot of the dancers that are auditioning.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I mean, there's so many. We both know so many raw people in the street dance world that like like uh, super talented,
Yeah.
Um, and there's also people that are in the industry world that are super talented that don't battle too. Um,
Right.
yeah, like fiction's been trying to make that bridge back. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean. you know,
The bridge is good.
yeah, the bridge is good, you know, and his
Yeah.
outcomes have varied greatly, you know, like I know he won one and then like the next one he didn't make it past prelims and it was like a big thing or whatever.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like that dude is talented, you know? Like
That dude
you
is
can't
talented. And
you
like
can't
what
just
people have to realize is that like that stuff happens to like fiction is amazing and also like he's like particularly well known. So like that was like broadcasted, but like that happens to everyday people too. People that win and the next day they don't make it past prelims.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and they can receive, you know, similar accolades. So
yeah.
yeah,
It's and I think we all just have to kind of take accountability for our own practice, you know? Um,
yeah.
it's not about the outcomes that other people dictate for us. All we can do is like the things that gave me confidence when I step in front of people and when I do well in battles is honestly, it's all dictated by the confidence I have stepping in there. And my confidence
Oh,
is rooted in how my practice has been. Have I honestly been trying hard, you know?
100%. I agree with this so much. I feel like every time I do an audition, like I am like using my skills from stepping out in the battle
Mm,
in that audition for me. I don't know, for me, because I didn't really actually start getting like work until after I had been battling for a while. And it, you know, acquiring this skill of accepting judgment straight the fuck on. You
mm.
know what I mean?
Yo, so many people in the industry got to hear this, yo. It's crazy because like they like they don't show up to the battles, but at the same time, it's so good in cultivating that ability to face adversity.
Yeah, 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 it is.
Yeah, because like yo, I've had like barely any auditions, right? But
I've seen you
the
have a
couple,
few. I've seen you have like one or two.
yeah, well, like in the past 5 years, I've been on like two, I think, or something.
Yeah.
But it's only for certain choreographers that like will hit me up or something, you know?
Like
Um,
yeah, like they know they want this type of dance.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They'll hit me up and then I'll come through or whatever. But I just like for me, like I've made it past so many auditions, like not even being able to do the choreo. And like because they'll be requesting a freestyle element to it or something, right? Or they
Yeah.
just go, okay, you know what, he just needs more time to practice and we can get him there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's just kind of like there is a certain quality you can build in the street dance world that will really help you
Yeah.
in other dimensions of industry work.
Yeah, I agree. Like super, super beneficial skills that are
Yeah.
gonna translate in all sorts of ways.
Yeah, in life in general too, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I'm curious because you know, I love the one piece you did with the social anxiety piece, right? Um, that one was super dope, and it's funny because I've been on that intersection, that exact square of cement, so many times, right, in Santee
Yeah.
Alley. I mean, I've been going there since I was like in junior high, you know, so. Yeah, it was crazy to see you do that because I felt that there.
Yeah, in when you're walking through Sandy Alley, you're just like, fuck.
Well, I've gone down there, like I went down there by myself, like I think the first time I went down there by myself was like freshman year of high school. Um,
Mm.
and I'm like, holy, you know, like this is nuts, you know?
Pretty nuts. Pretty nuts.
Yeah, it's
If you're
crazy.
going like Saturday, 2 p.m., fucking nuts.
And everybody's like $5, $5.
$5 watermelon.
Yeah, it's like just everybody's shouting. Anyways,
There's
that
like
piece, like
glittery phone cases, and then like stereo I want to buy, watermelon.
everything.
Anyone
Yeah.
who's a sensitive person gets overstimulated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so much going on. You're like, what did I come here for? I don't even know anymore. Uh, uh, yeah. What are your goals like? Like what do you see? If you can think about,
I'm
what
just
you want to
laughing
do
because you
with your
look off
movement.
into the distance and you're like, what do you see? Diesel's got these crazy inquisitive blue eyes that they just leave.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I didn't realize I was doing that. What do
I
you
did.
see? Yeah, so what do you see? What do you
What are my
do you have any
dreams?
goals?
Yeah, I got a few. We got a few goals. Um, in terms of dance, like one of my biggest goals with dance is to really um integrate into the fine art world and like theater. Like just in plain sentences, I just love to make a piece that is performed like in museums, like in high, what we call like the very high, like established institutions of fine art. Um,
Mm,
yeah, I see artists like myself and Slim Boogie and you know so many of these artists like on the same like levels as like these like famous artists throughout history, and I just like love to see that in a space that is like acknowledged as like fine art, like not commercial, not underground. It's just like fine art.
mm,
um
fine art.
yeah, so I'd love to get involved with like somehow making pieces in the future for yeah, museums or um like theater. I love theater, like really big theaters. So
Mm,
so beautiful. There's so many
yeah.
those throughout the world that I'd love to um eventually like make some. Yeah, I think I'm trying to say like I kind of want to make a like company at some point.
Mm,
Um
yeah.
yeah,
And
that
that's that you
incorporates my experience with dance, like, and the dancers that I look up to, which are mainly like, I would say I mainly love like contemporary dance, popping, flexing, crump, electro, some of those.
yeah.
um and shows these dance cases, these styles, in a way where they're integrated into like performances, and they're not being like, this is a street dance performance.
Yeah.
No shade at the hip hop nutcracker, but like, why can't it just be the nutcracker with these skilled individuals? Why does it always have to be like a thing?
Uh
you
yeah,
know
yeah, yeah.
I just like to see us integrated into the art world as artists, period.
Mm, yeah.
I'd also like to. I'm also like getting really passionate about painting, so I also would like to paint more throughout my life. That's,
Damn,
that's
that's oh, yo, yeah, it's so good to have another art form that coincides with what you do, that
yeah,
you can always kind of fall back on, that you just like can
yeah,
comfort you in a different way.
yeah. I love painting.
Yeah. Oh shit, this is 30 seconds more. I had something else to say. All right, hold on, hold on. I'm gonna end this and then we'll finish up real
Okay,
quick. All
just
right.
to wrap up. Just to
Yeah.
wrap up. Okay,
Just
we're
to
just
wrap
gonna
up.
wrap up. We swear we're not gonna talk for another hour.